Christian needs to understand he doesn't belong to this world. We are not of this world. We're of another world. And we're waiting for our King to bring our world here. Not for us to go to heaven. We're waiting for our King to bring our world here. The mistake that Christians make is that we have to tolerate this world until we go to heaven. But heaven is only for those who die before our world gets here. Didn't Jesus teach us when he was teaching us how to pray? Did he not say, pray this way, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven? Well, when is that going to happen? As we move toward the coming of Christ, or to the end of time as we understand it, the darkness, the evil is going to get worse. But because the church is in the earth, it says also the standard of righteousness is going to get better. So what you should start to see as we move forward is the evil becoming more pronounced, but you should also see the righteousness being more pronounced. So there'll be a clear separation of the two worlds. Some would say and think that God could interfere, interrupt, challenge every evil thing and make it right. And he could, actually. He's God. There's nothing he can't do. But he won't, and he's not going to do that. What God did do, he interfered and intercepted the eternal outcome of everything. That one event where God stepped in changes the eternal outcome and gives every human being opportunity to have the eternal outcome that God intended before he created the heavens and the earth. Jesus told the believer, in this world you will have tribulation, but fear not, for I have overcome the world. In the end, the new heavens will come, the new earth will come, everything will have justice. But for the believer, certain things shouldn't happen to us. Things like sickness and disease, that should not take Christians out. And God made a way for that not to take Christians out, because the church should be living under the covenant promises, and health is part of that, or defeating sickness is part of that. The question to ask is, why then do sickness and disease and things like that, those evils, take out Christians? We need to stop and say, what's wrong? Nothing's wrong on God's end. God provided the means for that to be conquered by his people. So if we're not conquering it, maybe the people are out of order or out of sync with God. That would be my argument. We're out of sync with God. One place that's quoted much about prayer when they have major prayer meetings, if my people which are called by my name will humble themselves and repent and pray, I will heal their land. But they never emphasize the fact that it says humble ourselves and repent from our sin, which means God is saying that we're in sin, his people. But if we get our sin right, and then go and pray, he'll hear us. But what we do is we quote that, and everyone is in the exact state they were living, and now we all go and pray, and we think God heard us. But if you're going to make that reference, maybe the most important part of that reference isn't the prayer, it's aligning ourselves as God people first. We miss that. When God tells Isaiah to tell the people, what the heck are they praying to me for? I don't hear them. Yet they fast and they do all this stuff and they think they're fulfilling righteousness, and I have nothing to do with what they say. I will never answer them. But here's what you tell them. Make these adjustments and then I will hear them. And many times the prophets or the true voices of God in history came to God's people to adjust them. They killed those prophets. But then there were other prophets at the same time who were not true prophets, who said all sweet things to God's people, and those prophets they praised. It's the same today. We accept the voices of encouragement that give us no responsibility. But if we could start to hear the voices that we can be encouraged from, if we would take responsibility of what they're saying, yeah, then there is a great end, and there's even solutions for the present. But the church is out of order, and it needs to get right.